naturally, in the wine industry, we have good years, we have bad years. Last year, we had the fires, major fires here in California, in Napa Valley. And then this is the second year of drought. So it's been rough just from that aspect. It is certainly difficult times. Not only we have labor shortages, but at the same time, there's scarcity of supply and there's an abundance of demand.
Business owners, like winemaker Malik Amrani, are facing three main pressures on how they price their products: high demand, rising costs of labor, and rising costs of supplies. Whether Amrani and others like him absorb these costs or pass them on to consumers determines the course of inflation in the U.S. economy.
The U.S. economy is made up of literally hundreds of millions of individual workers, businesses, and employers. And inflation is really the output of what all those hundreds of millions of people simultaneously are deciding in the transactions with each other and their own decisions.
These decisions have big consequences for business owners. Eating the rising costs they're facing could destroy their profit margin, but passing them on could drive customers away.
So this is the equivalent of a glass of wine. The Weiss wine is a mid-sized Napa Valley winery. We produce about 25,000 cases a year. Typically, we are a little bit under what the typical price point for Napa Valley wine will be. The house tier, we are between $22 and $33. For our single vineyard reserve tier, that starts at $38 and it goes all the way up to $69.
Like many businesses right now, Amrani says he's experiencing strong demand for his product. But he's facing a lot of obstacles to meet that demand.
We are in a perfect storm where kind of all the elements, things that we never had to worry about, are becoming really difficult to source. It's been very hard to source labor since the start of the pandemic. It's kind of getting harder this year. The $15 minimum wage really kind of doesn't apply to Napa because we've been paying here $20 to $22 pre-pandemic. And now, since we can't find labor, we are in the upper 20s to lower 30s just for basic vineyard labor or cellar labor.
Glass has been particularly difficult to source.
I will say generic glass mold that used to take me a text message, maybe a phone call or an email to order, now it takes me 20 to 40 hours on average to find.
I have so many of them. Wines, glass suppliers, it's like you gotta be talking to 12 people all the friggin' time.
Thank you for calling West Coast Bottles. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Cynthia. How you been? What is it
Yeah,
like?
I don't have any good news for you today.
Oh, shoot.
How much are you selling this wine for?
You know, for the
You need to
cab,
raise
we're
the price.
$29. And then when I do find the glass, after spending a long time looking for it, then I'm paying 30 to 50% more. Bringing a container out of China of glass a year ago would be somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000. Today we're north of $12,000 to $15,000.
She wouldn't even tell me the price on the phone. That's how bad it is. I wouldn't be surprised if she doubles the price. And she's saying it's all because of the shipping.
Even cardboard has been hard to source. I didn't expect that the cardboard would be an issue, especially generic craft cardboard that doesn't have anything printed on it. The prices dramatically went up, no less than 50% in some instances. The only thing that may help ease the difficulties on the supply chain is lower demand, and I really don't see the demand slowing down anytime soon.
So we know that a big part of the inflation process is psychological. Prices, inflation will partly depend on what people think it will be. So think of the business that's facing an increase in its costs. You can either decide, all right, these higher costs are here to stay, and I'm going to raise the price for my customers. Or he can decide, you know, I've got a pretty good sense that this is a temporary disruption and those costs are going back a year from now. If I raise my prices now, I'm going to lose market share and it'll be for nothing because those costs will go down a year from now. So he's got to make that call.
We're absolutely trying to swallow the cost and just deal with it. But because it's not a 5% or 2% or 10% inflation, in many cases it's 40% up, it will certainly have consequences when it comes to price increases. Our brand was born on the idea of making Napa Valley accessible for that everyday occasion. If we are forced to raise the prices in the house tier, it's almost like we're in a different territory, appealing to a different consumer. A lot of our fans of the Weiss wine, I can see them remaining loyal to us, but for others, they may just not be able to afford that price increase, and they may look at other regions besides Napa Valley, maybe go to a different wine regions, or even international wines versus the local wines.